Visit parthikachana.com for technology resources and stock analysis. A set of 50 advanced level JavaScript interview questions and answers, tailored interviews. 1. What is the purpose of the symbol type in JavaScript? Answer. The symbol type is a primitive data type introduced in ES6. It represents a unique and immutable identifier that can be used as keys for object properties. Symbols are useful for creating properties that do not conflict with other property keys, which can be helpful when writing libraries or frameworks to avoid name collisions. Example: JavaScript. Const sim1 equals symbol description. Const obj equals obj sim1 equals value. Console.log obj sim1 / outputs value. 2. Explain the difference between deep cloning and shallow cloning in JavaScript. Answer. Shallow cloning only copies the first layer of the object. If the object contains nested objects, references to those objects are copied, not the actual values. Deep cloning creates a complete copy, duplicating all levels of the object, including nested objects. Shallow clone example. Using object, assign, JavaScript. Let obj1 equals a, 1 b, a c. 2. Let shallow clone equals object, assign, obj1. Shallow clone b, c equals 3. Console.log obj1 bc / outputs. 3. Changes in clone affect original. Deep clone example. JavaScript. Let deep clone equals json.parse, json.stringify, obj1. Deep clone b, c equals 3. Console.log obj1 bc / outputs. 2. Original object is unaffected. 3. What is the event loop in JavaScript, and how does it work? Answer. The event loop is the mechanism that handles asynchronous operations in JavaScript. JavaScript is single-threaded, but it can perform non-blocking operations like HTTP requests, thanks to the event loop. The event loop continuously checks the call stack and the message queue. If the call stack is empty and there are callbacks in the queue, it pushes the oldest callback to the call stack for execution. 4. What are generator functions in JavaScript, and how do they work? Answer. A generator function is a special type of function that can pause its execution, yield, and resume later. It's declared with an asterisk and uses the yield keyword to return values at different stages of execution. Example: JavaScript. Function generator. Yield 1, yield 2, yield 3. Const gen equals generator. Console.log gen next, the value, / outputs. 1. Console.log gen next, value, / outputs. 2. 5. Explain memoization in JavaScript and provide an example. Answer. Memoization is an optimization technique used to speed up function calls by storing the results of expensive function calls and returning the cached result when the same inputs occur again. Example: JavaScript. Function memoize fn. Const cache equals return function args. Const key equals json stringify args. If cache key, return cache key. Const result equals fn args. Cache key equals result, return result. Const fib equals memoize function n. If n equals 1, return n. Return fib n1 plus fib n2. Console.log fib 40 / memoized Fibonacci calculation. 6. What is tail call optimization and why is it important? Answer. Tail call optimization, TCO, is a technique used by JavaScript engines to optimize recursive function calls. When a function call is the last action in a function, tail call, the current function frame can be replaced rather than adding a new frame to the call stack. This prevents stack overflow issues in recursion and improves performance. Example of a tail call: JavaScript. Function factorial n, acc equals 1. If n equals 0, return acc. Return factorial n1, n acc. / tail call. 7. What is the difference between object seal and object freeze? Answer. Object seal prevents new properties from being added to an object, but existing properties can be modified. Object freeze prevents new properties from being added, existing properties from being modified, and existing properties from being deleted. Example. JavaScript. Const obj equals A1. Object seal obj equals 2 / allowed. Obj v equals 3 / not allowed. Object freeze obj equals 3 / not allowed. 8. What are the pros and cons of using async and await in JavaScript? Answer. Pros. Code looks synchronous, making it easier to read and understand. Error handling is simpler with try, catch. Makes chaining promises less cumbersome. Cons. Older browsers may not support it, requiring transpiling. It doesn't parallelize code unless multiple promise s are awaited at once. Example. JavaScript. Async function fetch data. Try. Const response equals await fetch. https://api example.com/data. Const data equals await response JSON. console.log data. Catch error. console.error error. 9. What is the difference between microtasks and macrotasks in JavaScript? Answer. Microtasks, e.g., promises, are executed before the next rendering cycle and after the currently executing script finishes. Macrotasks, e.g., set timeout, set interval, are queued to be executed after microtasks. Example. JavaScript. console.log start. Set timeout equals console.log macrotask 0 / macrotask. Promise to resolve that then equals console.log microtask / macrotask console.log end. Output. Start. End. Microtask. Macrotask. 10. What is the purpose of weak map and weak set in JavaScript? Answer. Weak maps and weak set allow the garbage collection of values if there are no other references to them. These collections do not prevent their values from being garbage collected. Weak map keys must be objects, and weak set values must also be objects. Example. JavaScript. Let obj equals let weak map equals new weak map. Weak mapped set obj value. Obj equals null / the object can be garbage collected and weak map entry is cleared. 11. How do you handle errors and promises? Answer. Errors and promises are handled using .catch method or async/await with try, catch. If a promise fails, the error is propagated through the promise chain until it's caught by .catch. Example with .catch. JavaScript. Fetch invalid URL. Then response equals response.json. .catch error equals console.error error. Example with async/await. JavaScript. Async function fetch data. Try const response equals await fetch invalid URL. Const data equals await response.json. Catch error. console.error error. 12. What are higher-order functions in JavaScript? Answer. A higher-order function is a function that takes another function as an argument or returns a function. Higher-order functions allow functional programming techniques such as composition, currying, and partial application. Example. JavaScript. Function higher order fn. Return function x. Return fn x. Const square equals higher order. X equals xx. Console log square 5 / outputs 25. 13. Explain the concept of currying in JavaScript. Answer. Currying is a technique in JavaScript where a function with multiple arguments is transformed into a sequence of nested functions, each taking a single argument. Example, JavaScript. Function add A. Return function B. Return function C. Return A plus B plus C. Console.log add 1, 2, 3, / outputs. 6. 14. What are the use cases for proxied objects in JavaScript? Answer. Proxied objects allow you to intercept and customize fundamental operations on objects, like property access, assignment, function invocation, and more. Common use cases include validation of property values, logging and debugging property access, virtualization of objects, e.g., creating objects that act as placeholders. Example, JavaScript. Const handler equals get function target prop. Return prop and target prop. Property does not exist. Const proxy equals new proxy, a one handler. Console.log proxied, a / outputs. 1. Console.log proxied, b / outputs. Property does not exist. 15. How does the new keyword work in JavaScript under the hood? Answer. When the new keyword is used with a constructor function, the following steps occur. 1. A new object is created. 2. The new object's __proto__ is set to the constructor's prototype. 3. The constructor function is called with this bound to the new object. 4. If the constructor function doesn't return an object, the new object is returned. Example, JavaScript. Function person name. This.name equals name. Const John equals new person John. Console.log John name. / outputs John. 16. What is the Reflect API and how is it different from proxy? Answer. The Reflect API provides methods to perform operations on objects, similar to those done by proxy handlers. The key difference is that Reflect is used for basic operations, whereas proxy is used for intercepting and modifying behavior. Example, JavaScript. Const obj equals a1. Reflect set obj 2. / same as obj equals 2. Console.log obj / outputs 2. 17. How do you implement method chaining in JavaScript? Answer. Method chaining allows multiple methods to be called on the same object consecutively. To achieve this, each method should return this, the current object. Example, JavaScript. Class calculator, constructor. This.value equals 0. Add number. This.value plus equals number. Return this. Subtract number. This.value dash equals number. Return this. Result. Return this value. Const calc equals new calculator. Console.log calc add 5. Subtract 2. Result / outputs 3. 18. What is a weak reference and how is it different from a regular reference in JavaScript? Answer. A weak reference allows an object to be garbage collected if there are no other references to it, while a regular reference keeps the object alive as long as the reference exists. Weak references are commonly used in caches where objects may be discarded if not needed. Example, JavaScript. Let obj equals const weakref equals new weakref obj. Obj equals null / object may be garbage collected. 19. What is the difference between function.prototype.call and function.prototype.apply? Answer. Both call and apply allow you to invoke a function with a specified this value. The difference lies in how arguments are passed. Call. Arguments are passed individually, comma separated. Apply. Arguments are passed as an array. Example, JavaScript. Function greet, greeting name. Console.log greeting plus comma plus name. Greet@call, null, hello, Alice. // using call. Greet, apply, null, hello, Alice. // using apply. 20. What is throttling in JavaScript and how do you implement it? Answer. Throttling ensures a function is only called at most once during a specified time period, preventing it from being called too frequently. It's commonly used in scenarios like window resizing or scrolling events. Example, JavaScript. Function throttle, fn, delay. Let last call equals 0. Return function, args. Const now equals new date. Get time. If now. Last call, delay, return. Last call equals now. fn, args. Window to add event listener, resize, throttle, equals. Console.log, resized. 1000. 21. Explain the difference between == and == in JavaScript. Answer. The == operator checks for equality, but performs type coercion if necessary, meaning values of different types can be considered equal. The == operator, known as the strict equality operator, checks for equality without performing type coercion, so the values must be of the same type to be considered equal. Example, JavaScript. Console.log 1 == 1 // true, type coercion occurs. Console.log 1 == 1 / false, different types, no coercion. 22. What is the temporal dead zone in JavaScript? Answer. The temporal dead zone, TDZ, refers to the period of time during which a let or const variable is declared but not yet initialized. Accessing the variable in this zone will throw a reference error. The TDZ starts from the block entry until the variable's initialization. Example, JavaScript. Console.log x / throws reference error. Let x equals 10. 23. What is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous code in JavaScript? Answer. Synchronous code is executed line by line, and each operation must complete before the next one starts. Asynchronous code, on the other hand, allows other operations to execute while waiting for a time-consuming task, like I/O operations, to finish. Asynchronous operations can be achieved using callbacks, promises, or async/await. Example of synchronous code, JavaScript. Console.log, start. Console.log, end. Example of asynchronous code, JavaScript. Console.log, start. Set timeout, equals console.log, async operation, 1000. Console.log, end. 24. What is the typeof operator and how does it work? Answer. The typeof operator returns a string representing the type of the operand. It's commonly used to check primitive types such as number, string, Boolean, and undefined. However, for null, it returns object, unknown quirk, and for functions, it returns function. Example, JavaScript. Console.log, typeof123, / outputs, number. Console.log, typeof hello, / outputs, string. Console.log, typeof null, / outputs, object, quirk. 25. How does JavaScript handle floating point arithmetic, and why can it be inaccurate? Answer. JavaScript uses the IEEE 754 standard for representing numbers, which stores numbers as 64-bit floating point values. Due to the limitations of binary representation, certain decimal numbers cannot be represented precisely, leading to inaccuracies in calculations. Example of inaccuracy, JavaScript. Console.log 0.1 plus 0.2 / outputs 0.30000000000004. To handle such inaccuracies, rounding methods or libraries like bigint can be used. 26. What is hoisting in JavaScript, and how does it affect variables and functions? Answer. Hoisting is JavaScript's behavior of moving variable and function declarations to the top of their containing scope during the compilation phase. This means that variables declared with var are hoisted and initialized with undefined, while let and const are hoisted but not initialized, which leads to the TDZ. Function declarations are also hoisted, allowing them to be called before they are declared. Example: JavaScript. Console log hoisted var / outputs. Undefined hoisting. Var hoisted var equals 5. Console log not hoisted / throws reference error due to TDZ. Let not hoisted equals 10. 27. What are the different ways to handle asynchronous code in JavaScript? Answer: in JavaScript, asynchronous code can be handled in several ways. Callbacks. Functions passed as arguments to be called when an asynchronous operation completes. Promises. Objects that represent the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation and provides then and catch. Methods for chaining. Async/await. Syntactic sugar over promises that make asynchronous code look synchronous. Example with promises. JavaScript. Fetch. https://api example.com/data. Then response equals response.json. Then data equals console log data. .catch. Error equals console.error error. 28. What is the purpose of the promise object in JavaScript? Answer: the promise object represents the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation and its resulting value. A promise can be in one of three states: pending, fulfilled, or rejected. Promises provide a cleaner alternative to callback functions for handling asynchronous operations. Example: JavaScript. Const myPromise equals new promise. Resolve. Reject equals. Const success equals true. // simulate success or failure. If success, resolve. Operation succeeded. Else, reject. Operation failed. MyPromise. Then, result equals console.log result / outputs. Operation succeeded. .catch. Error equals console.error error. 29. What is the async/await syntax in JavaScript? Answer: the async/await syntax is a way to work with promises that allows for writing asynchronous code in a more synchronous manner. An async function returns a promise, and the await keyword can be used to pause the execution of the function until the promise is resolved. Example: JavaScript. Const fetch data equals async equals. Try. Const response equals await fetch. https://api example.com/data. Const data equals await response JSON. Console.log data. Catch error. Console.error error. Fetch data. 30. What are modules in JavaScript? Answer: modules in JavaScript allow you to break your code into separate files, making it easier to manage, maintain, and reuse. ES6 introduced the import and export syntax for working with modules, enabling you to import functions, objects, or variables from other files. Example: module.js. JavaScript. Export const greet equals name equals hello $name. Example: main.js. JavaScript. Import greet from /module.js. Console.log greet Alice / outputs hello Alice. 31. What is destructuring in JavaScript? Answer: destructuring is a syntax that allows unpacking values from arrays or properties from objects into distinct variables. It provides a more concise way to extract values from complex data structures. Example: array destructuring. JavaScript. Const numbers equals 1, 2, 3. Const first, second equals numbers. Console.log first / outputs 1. Console.log second / outputs 2. Example: object destructuring. JavaScript. Const person equals name, John, age, 30. Const name, age equals person. Console log name, / outputs, John. Console log age, / outputs, 30. 32. What is the difference between null and undefined in JavaScript? Answer. Null is an assignment value that represents the intentional absence of any object value. It is an object type. Undefined is a type itself, undefined, and indicates that a variable has been declared but has not yet been assigned a value. Example, JavaScript. Let x equals null, / x is explicitly set to null. Let y, / y is declared but not assigned, hence undefined. Console log typeof(x), / outputs, object. Console log typeof(y), / outputs, undefined. 33. What is a closure in JavaScript? Answer. A closure is a function that retains access to its lexical scope, even when the function is executed outside that scope. Closures allow for data encapsulation and are often used to create private variables. Example, JavaScript. Function makeCounter. Let count equals 0, / private variable. Return function. Count ++, / accessing the private variable. Return count. Const counter equals makeCounter. Console log counter, / outputs, 1. Console log counter, / outputs, 2. 34. What is the event loop in JavaScript? Answer. The event loop is a mechanism that allows JavaScript to perform non-blocking operations despite being single-threaded. It continuously checks the call stack and the message queue. When the call stack is empty, it processes messages from the queue, executing the associated callback functions. Example, JavaScript. Console.log, start. Set timeout equals console.log, timeout callback. 0. Console.log, end. / outputs. / start. / end. / timeout callback. 35. What are higher order functions in JavaScript? Answer. Higher order functions are functions that take other functions as arguments or return functions as their result. They are commonly used for callbacks and functional programming techniques. Example, JavaScript. Const greet equals name equals hello, $name. Const greet user equals greeting function username equals return greeting function username. Console log greet user greet Alice / outputs hello, Alice. 36. What is the this keyword in JavaScript? Answer. The this keyword refers to the object that is currently executing the function. Its value can vary depending on how a function is called, and it can behave differently in regular functions, arrow functions, and methods. Example, JavaScript. Const person equals name, John, greet. Console.log, hello, my name is $, name. Person.greet, / outputs, hello, my name is John. Const greet equals person greet, greet, / outputs, hello, my name is undefined, because this refers to the global object. 37. What are template literals in JavaScript? Answer. Template literals are a way to create strings that allow for interpolation, multi-line strings, and the inclusion of expressions. They are enclosed by backticks, instead of single or double quotes. Example, JavaScript. Const name equals Alice. Const greeting equals hello, $name, / interpolation. Console.log greeting, / outputs, hello, Alice. Const multiline equals, this is a string. That spans multiple lines. Console.log multiline. 38. What are the differences between var, let, and const? Answer. Var is function scoped or globally scoped and can be redeclared and updated. Let is block scoped, can be updated but not redeclared within the same block. Const is also block scoped, but it cannot be updated or redeclared. It must be initialized at the time of declaration. Example: JavaScript. Var x equals 10, let y equals 20, const z equals 30, x equals 15, / allowed, y equals 25, / allowed, / z equals 35, / not allowed, assignment to constant variable. Console log x, y, z, / outputs, 15, 25, 30. 39. What is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous JavaScript? Answer: synchronous JavaScript executes code line by line, blocking the execution of subsequent code until the current operation is completed. This can lead to performance issues, especially with long-running tasks. Asynchronous JavaScript allows for non-blocking operations, enabling the execution of code while waiting for a task, like fetching data, to complete. This is achieved through callbacks, promises, and async/await syntax. Example: JavaScript. Console log start. Set timeout equals console log asynchronous operation 1000. Console log end. / outputs. / start. / end. / asynchronous operation after 1 second. 40. What is the purpose of bind, call, and apply in JavaScript? Answer: these methods are used to control the value of this within functions. Bind creates a new function that, when called, has its this keyword set to the provided value. Call calls a function with a given this value and arguments provided individually. Apply calls a function with a given this value and arguments provided as an array. Example: JavaScript. Function greet. Console.log. Hello, $this name. Const person equals name, Alice. Const greet Alice equals greet, bind, person. Greet Alice. / outputs. Hello, Alice. Greet call person. / outputs. Hello, Alice. Greet apply person. / outputs. Hello, Alice. 41. What is the purpose of the set timeout and set interval functions in JavaScript? Answer: set timeout and set interval are both methods that allow you to execute code after a specified period of time. Set timeout executes a function or a piece of code after a specified delay in milliseconds. It only runs once. Example: JavaScript. Set timeout equals console log executed after 2 seconds. A 2000 / outputs executed after 2 seconds after 2 seconds. Set interval executes a function repeatedly at specified intervals in milliseconds until it is cleared using clear interval. Example: JavaScript. Const interval ID equals set interval equals console log executed every 1 second 1000 / to stop the interval after 5 seconds. Set timeout equals clear interval ID 5000 / stops the interval after 5 seconds. 42. How can you create a private variable in JavaScript? Answer: private variables can be created using closures. By defining a variable within a function scope and returning an inner function that accesses that variable, you can create a private variable that cannot be accessed directly from outside the function. Example: JavaScript. Function create counter. Let count equals 0 / private variable. Return increment equals count ++. Get count equals count. Const counter equals create counter. Console log counter get count. / outputs 0. Counter dot increment. Console log counter get count. / outputs 1. 43. What is the difference between deep copy and shallow copy in JavaScript? Answer. A shallow copy creates a new object that is a copy of the original object, but it only copies the references to nested objects, not the actual nested objects. A deep copy, on the other hand, recursively copies all properties and nested objects, creating a completely independent copy. Example of shallow copy. JavaScript. Const original equals a 1 b a c. 2. Const shallow copy equals original. Shallow copy b c equals 3. Console log original b c / outputs. 3 modified because it's a reference. Example of deep copy. JavaScript. Const original equals a 1 b a c. 2. Const deep copy equals JSON parse. JSON stringify original. Deep copy b c equals 3. Console log original b c / outputs. 2 not modified. 44. What is a promised val and how does it work? Answer. Promised all is a method that takes an array of promises and returns a single promise that resolves when all of the input promises have resolved, or rejects if any of the promises reject. It is useful for executing multiple asynchronous operations in parallel. Example. JavaScript. Const promise 1 equals promise, resolve 1. Const promise 2 equals new promise, resolve, equals set timeout, equals resolve, 2, 1000. Const promise 3 equals promise, resolve 3. Promise to all, promise 1, promise 2, promise 3. And then results equals console.log results / outputs. 1, 2, 3. Catch error equals console.error. One of the promises failed, error. 45. What are the different ways to handle errors in JavaScript? Answer. Errors in JavaScript can be handled using several methods. 1. Try/catch block. This allows you to catch exceptions that may occur during the execution of code. Example. JavaScript. Try / code that may throw an error. Throw new error. Something went wrong. Catch error. Console error. Errored message. / outputs. Something went wrong. 2. Promise rejections. Use .catch to handle rejected promises. Example. JavaScript. Const myPromise equals new promise _ reject equals reject failed. MyPromise. Then equals console.log success. .catch error equals console.error error. / outputs. Failed. 3. Async/await with try/catch. When using async/await, wrap your code in a try/catch block to handle errors. Example. JavaScript. Const fetch data equals async equals try const response equals await fetch https://api example.com/data. Const data equals await response to JSON. Console.log data. Catch error. Console.error. Error fetching data. Error. Fetch data. 46. What is the instanceif operator in JavaScript? Answer. The instanceif operator is used to check whether an object is an instance of a particular constructor or class. It returns a Boolean value, indicating whether the prototype property of the constructor appears anywhere in the prototype chain of the object. Example. JavaScript. Function person name. This .name equals name. Const Alice equals new person Alice. Console.log Alice instanceif person / outputs. True. Console.log Alice instanceif object / outputs. True. 47. What is the concept of function currying in JavaScript? Answer. Currying is a technique in functional programming where a function with multiple arguments is transformed into a sequence of nested functions, each taking a single argument. This allows for partial application of a function and helps in creating more modular and reusable code. Example: JavaScript. Const multiply equals A equals B equals AB. Const double equals multiply 2. Console log double 5 / outputs 10. Console.log multiply 3 4 / outputs 12. 48. What are JavaScript proxies and how are they used? Answer: JavaScript proxies are objects that wrap around another object and intercept operations on that object, such as property access, assignment, and function calls. This allows you to define custom behavior for these operations, making proxies useful for validation, logging, or implementing data binding. Example: JavaScript. Const target equals, const handler equals, get obj prop equals console.log. Property $prop was accessed. Return prop in obj prop not found. Const proxy equals new proxy target handler. Console.log proxied name / outputs. Property name was accessed followed by not found. 49. What is event delegation in JavaScript? Answer: Event delegation is a technique that leverages the event bubbling phase to handle events at a higher level in the DOM rather than on individual child elements. This approach improves performance and reduces memory consumption by attaching a single event listener to a parent element instead of multiple listeners to each child element. Example: HTML. All ID equals mylist. Li item 1 / li. Li item 2 / li. Li item 3 / li / all. JavaScript. Const list equals document. Get element by ID. Mylist. List, add event listener. Click. Event equals. If event, target, tag name equals li. Console.log. You clicked on $event, target, text content. 50. What is the symbol type in JavaScript? Answer: the symbol type is a unique and immutable primitive value introduced in ES6 that is often used as a key for object properties. Symbols can be created using the symbol function, and each symbol is guaranteed to be unique, making them useful for avoiding property name collisions in objects. Example: JavaScript. Const unique key equals symbol key. Const obj equals unique key value. Console.log obj unique key / outputs value. Console.log object keys obj / outputs. Symbol properties are not included in object keys. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Visit parthakachana.com for technology resources and stock analysis.